Hello, friends! Kectil welcomes you to its YouTube channel, and as always, Alexandra Fomin, the creator of this channel, is with you. And we are continuing getting more inspiring interview from authentic leaders around the world. And our guest today is my colleague from Kectil Guguni. He is an authentic leader from Kenya, a person who knows everything about social business in Africa, and not only in Africa, is involved in many projects for the development of Kenya youth. And yeah, I'm glad to welcome Guguni. Good to see you today, and thank you for your time. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to answering all the questions that I prepare for you. And before starting our interview, I would like to ask you also introduce yourself for our audience. Could you please?
Yes, thank you so much, Alexandra, for having me. I'm so delighted, and it's an honor to be part of this conversation and to speak to the young people all over the world. Like Alexandra said, it's true that my name is Guguni, but whether I know everything about social entrepreneurship, that one is debatable because there's so much to learn. I know a lot of things, but there is so much to learn. I'm still learning. I'm yet to know everything. So thank you for the generous introduction. And just to explain more about myself is that I work as a social innovation and impact manager, working majorly with social entrepreneurs to foster prosperity of communities. I'm also a team leader in the Kectil Emeritus Board, recently created. And also I lead the Kectil Youth Center here in Kenya. So thank you so much, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Kukuni. But we always learn something new during all our lives. So for right now, you're best of the best. And it's incredible to hear your story, to hear about you more. And I think it would be interesting for our viewers to hear about your way to Kectil in more detail. How did you get into the program? What was the most challenging thing for you in that way? And about today's your role. Could you please?
Great. I'm happy to share the story of my journey into the Kectil program. So it was back back in 2016. And in that year, I was a student president here in Kenya in a university called Strathmore. And I got an email from one of our deans of the business school that time, and he had asked if I could send an invitation to students in the university for them to join this new program that has been initiated to help nurture young people in developing countries to be leaders and for them to network with each other and targeting mostly those ones in disadvantaged places. So I was privileged to share this email and invite students. And the next, during that week also, Sherry Knowles was visiting Nairobi. And the blessing was that she was coming to the university. So I got a chance to meet her in person together with other colleagues within the student council and the dean of the business school. We had lunch together and we had a conversation about her vision and how she would like to help create impact amongst young people in developing countries. And I was so excited about being part of this community. And that's how I made my application. That's how I started sending out this message to young people in Kenya. We had another second meeting at Kempinski Hotel where Sherry was spending. Met another group of young people who are not from Strathmore University, but from other parts of Kenya. And that was my journey towards Kectil as a colleague. So I participated in 2017 as a colleague through the one-year online program. I got a chance to go to Atlanta later on, and I joined the Kectil Youth Advisory Board. while in Atlanta. Then afterwards, 2018, I became a mentor to colleagues who are joining the program later after. So I grew as a mentor, helping support and nurture other young people joining the program. And in 2021, I got appointed into the Kectil Youth Center to set up the Kectil Youth Center in Kenya, and then later on into the Kectil board. And here I am as a team leader in the Kectil Emeritus Board 2024. So it has been a long and exciting journey. I forgot to mention that also we had a local conference here in Nairobi back in 2018. I'm not sure about the year, but we had a local center conference here in Nairobi where we had colleagues from other parts of the world coming to Nairobi. And I was part of that as well. So it has been an exciting and fruitful journey being part of Kectil. And yeah, there's so much to share, but today I'll just mention that.
Wow, that's really amazing journey, I would say, and long time it takes for you just to be in your place that you have your responsibility today. So that's really amazing. And I am sure that for our audience, for our followers, it is necessary to hear your story and learn from you how to be the authentic leader on their countries and more about Kectil program, how to maybe apply and not afraid to be in our big family. And also, as far as I know, after your university, you also have your own business started, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes.
And your business helping many organizations to be more sustainable, more social. And I'm just curious, could you please tell us more about why you choose the direction of social business and what projects are you currently working on?
Thank you, Alexandra. So after I finished university, I had a lot of ideas running in my mind. And, ideas to dream, they say dreaming is free. Execution calls for a lot of effort as well. That's where the cost comes in. So I challenged myself, first of all, to set up a network of young people who will be helping train high school students on solving societal problems and understanding the SDGs and values that will help solve some of the development challenges that Africa is facing. So I set up a network called the African Youth Network for Empowerment and Transformation. So did couple of training of trainers and got certification for these trainers. And we didn't manage to go out into high schools because after setting up the network, I traveled to Sweden and the engagement with the trainers of trainers stopped. So when I came back to the country, most of them had gone to other activities. So I decided to register a consulting company. And I changed my plan is that I'll use this consulting company, ANET Consulting, to help provide consulting services to social businesses that are aiming at creating an impact, for them to do impact planning and also use innovation processes to integrate tackling complex social and environmental problems as part of their business model. So that is what I've been doing with my consulting company, and also as an individual. I've always wanted to get to help businesses understand that there are new ways of thinking on how to create and to deliver value to society. So you do not have to think about profits only, because the previous model of development was focused on economic growth, and we see the problems that that has caused the world today. We are now grappling with environmental problems, climate change. We are grappling with social issues, issues of justice, and we are grappling with degradation of social values. So the planetary cost of maintaining humans has gone high, and we have to find a way of reducing it. We just do not look at development in terms of economic terms. We have to look at it in terms of the value that it creates to environment and to the well-being of people. So we have to do more with the wealth, with the wealth that we are generating, and we have to change the purpose of our economic systems. So we have to look at issues like inequality. We have to look at social and ecological well-being. So this is what I'm trying to do with businesses here in Africa, because we didn't go so far when it comes to industrial development here in Africa. So we have a better chance of changing the path instead of going the same direction that America and Europe went with the Industrial Revolution. So this is the service that I'm trying to offer to social businesses and trying to encourage them to look at development and their contribution to society in a systemic way, focused on social, ecological, and economic as well, well-being. Thank you.
Wow. We are working together with you in the same field because I also a consultant from social business and sustainable business as well. And a lot of people thinking that a sustainable business it is more about society or ecology, but not about economy. And you correctly mentioned that all this combination also must generate profits for the business. And I have a really curious question. Can you please reveal more information about social business for us? Because many people say how cool it is to open this kind of business because in some countries government supports such kind of businesses, but few people say what is the most difficult thing on that way to opening and working with a social business, because there is also some challenges for example for young people to open such kind of business and getting support from investors or government for that. And what challenges you faced in working with social business in your practice?
Thank you, Alexandra. And I agree with you. There are a lot of gray areas in this particular field. There are thousands of challenges still being experienced in this particular field because the world as we know it is so used to doing business as usual, profit focused majorly. And then when this idea of social business came in, people created the exact contrast that it's not about profit, it's about creating social and environmental impact. But this thing has to be combined. We have to think about the environment, we have to think about the social and well-being of people, and we also have to think about profits and generating value. So the question here is centered on value creation. So instead of talking about profit, businesses should be talking about value, and how they define value is going to be determining whether it's a social enterprise or not. So talking about challenges of dealing with these problems, we know, okay, let me just even start from the very topmost position. We know that policy has always been slow in catching up with innovation. So innovation comes first, and then governments or policymakers or laws follow and try to understand what is this innovation solving. And so it means that right now we've had policies that are struggling to catch up with this new way of thinking of solving societal and environmental problems through businesses. So as we move forward, we see that governments have been trying to deal with the problems of unsustainability or the intended consequences that have resulted from unsustainability, instead of creating policies that address or create sustainability itself. So what do I mean by this? Is that we see that we're not coming up with policies that are creating a better future, but are trying to resolve some of the problems that have existed before. So it's good to address the problem, but at the same time, we need to innovate in policy further so that we create room for businesses that are emerging right now to address some of the societal problems that we are facing, and addressing some of the environmental issues that we have. So at one of the challenges that we have right now for social businesses and why it is difficult to start them is the policy gap. So you find that there are a lot of obstacles. A friend of mine started a waste management company and they wanted to bring in an incinerator so that it could help reduce the amount of waste that is going into landfill. The amount of taxes that she was required to pay, the amount of licenses that she was required to have, the amount of environmental assessment reports that she was supposed to develop was too expensive for her to bring in an incinerator to solve this particular problem. So we need to reevaluate some of these policies that governments are having towards businesses that are trying to solve this problem. We need to offer incentives to them so that they can be able to grow and expand, because they are allies with government trying to solve these very complex problems that society is facing. So another thing is that the investment, the amount of investment that is being put in research and development of ideas for these new businesses. So most of social businesses are not as big as the well-established businesses from years that have run hundreds of years or tens of years ago. So most social businesses are pretty young. So they do not have a very big research and development department. So there's more money that needs to be invested in R&D and also to help these businesses experiment some of the ideas that are coming up. So we see lots of money going into institutions. One of the ways in which social businesses are trying to do is that research institutions and universities are partnering with social enterprises in this triple helix nexus where researchers, business or practitioners and policymakers come together to try to leverage on their particular strengths so that they could both contribute to development or prosperity of communities. But I think also that businesses need to be financed for them to do research by themselves. And we do not have to give money so that it can generate profit and pay back returns on investment. We should give money to businesses so that they can research and develop more value and improve their business models as well. So I think there is need for such kind of financing for social businesses so that they are able to grow in their research and development. Another thing is measures of progress. So how do we measure progress and growth in a business? The old model and even ways of measuring progress globally has been GDP, for example, and for businesses, they've been developing financial returns reports. So we've had like things like balance sheet for businesses and businesses developing reports on their financial performance. So the question is, we have other metrics for social progress that businesses should be able to measure. So how does your business, for example, contribute to the well-being of people? Are you paying your people a decent salary that they are able to live well and they're able to function well? Is their mental well-being, is their mental health being taken care of as your employees? What is the contribution of your business to the environment? How do you dispose your waste? How much waste do you generate? And what is your responsibility after you've generated this waste? Another question is, what's your contribution to social justice and within the environment that your business operates? What's your relationship to the community within which your business operates? So these are measurements that need to be incorporated when developing business reports so that people are aware these are instruments that should be considered and should be disclosed by businesses. So I think measures of progress for business is also another big challenge that we're facing right now. And there's the issue of stakeholders in business and shareholders. So shareholders mostly have focused on profit because people put in their money and they want a return on investment. So even society and people who are investing their money in business, you and I who are putting money into the stock exchange and whatever, we need to be very woke let me say, aware as shareholders that we should not only hold our the businesses we invest in accountable for financial return, but also we should be open to consider the social and environmental returns that we can contribute through our investment. And like I said, we need to do much more with the wealth that we are generating and repurpose the economic systems that we have today. Thank you.
Wow, that's really true, I would say, and I completely agree with you. And you always answered already to my next question regarding challenges for social business in your country, about challenges, social challenges in your country. So I'm a bit upset because I wanted to ask you that, but that's great. I also would like to add to this our conversation regarding social business, as I'm also working in that. I'm completely agree regarding reporting, non-financial reporting. The businesses also need to track and measurement their social and economical and environmental impact into the society and their countries. And as far as I know, Europe uh, started from 2025 going to implement such kind of reports for small and medium businesses into mandatory like mandatory, and small and medium businesses already prepared and structure their non-financial reporting. They call it like CSR, corporate responsible CSR, corporate sustainable report, sorry, corporate sustainable report. And they are going already looking for specialists that will be able to help them doing such research and understand where their values, what their impact, and how they need to calculate everything, with whom they need to talk, because social impact, it's not only about society, it's also about employees who's working into business. It's also about helping them, training them about a good environment and culture inside the corporates, because right now, as far as I know, this kind of reports provides only companies who have their stocks into NFT. Why they're doing that? Because some kind of investor, they would like to saw such information about impact what company doing into society, because as it is huge corporation, so it must be huge impact to society, to other countries, and more scalable impact. So they would like to see where they invest their money. But from 2025, it will be mandatory for all companies in Europe. Not in Ukraine. In Ukraine, we also have the same challenges, the same issues with law regarding social business. We still don't have any regulations. What is that? How it must work? What kind of support from governments or investors they must include, and so on and so forth. But last week I talked with a social innovation agency in Lithuania, and they said me that in Lithuania, where I'm located right now, they already implemented such rules for small, medium, and big businesses who working in social impacts, in environmental impact. So government help them to get more impact, to measurement it, and getting value from their thing that they provide to customers. It can be a service or products, whatever. But yeah, it's just additional thing that I also wanted to add to your good point that you provided to us. And let's a bit move on from social business, because it's a huge topic, and as I know, you and me can talk and discuss about that a lot. So I guess we need to record another video, only specify about social business, talk about that, what is that, how it's work, how to implement in the market, where to looking for investment and so forth. So we will think about that together. And I
Actually,
think this year we will record such kind. So I
yeah,
propose,
actually,
yeah.
I'd be happy to have a conversation on that, because when you talk of investment, talking of financial instruments that are going into businesses, we have a big gap globally. And most of this money that are coming to business from the capital markets. And we need to find a way of moving money from capital markets into social businesses. So impact investment is a new phenomenon, but we still need to put in more money into investments. For example, why don't we have social impact banks in different parts of the world where social businesses can access money that is meant to help solve some of the social problems? Can we have more green bonds being introduced into the stock markets of different countries, and governments encouraging and development of these social enterprises? Because these are allies with government. We have entrepreneurs who are trying to address issues in education, in healthcare, in infrastructure development, and this will ease the work of government a lot. So I think these are questions that we need to address and to lobby for as we pursue development in a new path. Yeah.
I'm completely agree with you in that point too. And yeah, we will continue this conversation. I guess after this interview, we'll plan another one about only social business, about challenges that. So our viewers, be patient, and in the in the near future, you will get one more interview about business, how to open even your social business, how to manage it, where to find investments, because as Giguni is a specialist, good specialist in the social business, and me as well working in that field. So we will provide you a lot of information, useful information, how to work with that, how to find your social idea, how to implement that, and how to manage it in the future and scale it, and doing really good impact. But right now, let's move on to topic about you, Bigoni, about your journey, about your career, because today you are my guest, and we want more getting from you information because you're already experienced person, experienced specialist, and for young leaders, it's really necessary to hear some kind of advice from us how to be such kind of leaders, how to be authentic leaders. So could you please tell us what challenges you faced in your career journey and how
Wow.
did you deal with that?
There's so much challenges I experienced in my career journey. So just how do I put the first challenge? Positioning yourself to be a contributor of value, or creating meaning out of work. So that was one of the first challenges that I faced, because I knew from the onset that I want to be involved in meaningful work, and meaningful work meant that my satisfaction was not being derived from just getting money, but getting to see that the work that I'm doing is contributing to change directly in society. And sometimes this is very difficult for young people to find. It's either you find most of this change is volunteer work, which does not pay you, and you need to survive, you need to pay your bills, you need to grow. And at the same time, sometimes the work that you get that is paying you does not give you that meaning out of life. So getting that equal balance of these two was a challenge that I experienced at the onset of my career. So how I solved this is that I had to learn. I went back to study on different courses that could help me. So I took up, I was fortunate enough to take up a course on sustainability and solving challenges facing emerging cities. And from there is when I started learning about innovation and innovation process management. And from this learning experience, I got to interact with people in this new profession, which is called social innovation management. And I got so curious. I met a guy who had been working as a social innovator for over 20 years, helping create businesses that are solving problems. And that got me so interested, and I learned a lot from this course. And it is from that area of learning that I got to find a niche which I could grow and focus on. I also went to do a public policy master's degree, which helped me understand the globe in a very open context, and also in a very broad way, getting to understand problems and how to solve these problems from not only an innovation perspective, but also from a policy level. So one of the ways young people can be able to address some of the challenge of getting to position yourself is getting to learn, and also not only learn by taking up a course, but also learning from people who have done what you aspire to do, and talking to them, asking them questions. Just don't live in your head. Open up yourself to ask questions to people who are outside, who have done something that you admire, and have conversations with them. From that, you're able to learn. Another challenge now, when you start learning, you have a lot of information coming to you, a lot of information. So challenge arises as a consequence. Which information should you be able to take, and which one should you leave out? So cutting out the crap and selecting the most valuable information for you has also been a challenge through my career path. So you
That's
have
hard.
a lot of information in this world. I think in the previous years, information access to information was a problem, but right now, getting the right information is the problem. So you have a lot of information, and sieving through for you to find what is valuable for you is one of the problems. So you need to get people who are within your niche and with whom you share the same value, and start learning from them. So you'll have to get to the specifics of what you're looking for through learning from people who have an experience. So most of these challenges are solved around people and accessing the right information that you desire. So that's what I could share at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, I'm completely agree with you in that because we're living in the world right now where we have over information that we need to for our lives, for our career, and it's a really huge challenge. And you're completely right about questions. We don't need afraid to ask others, more experienced people for the questions, who even ask them for being our mentors. It is my approach right now during my life career. I also learned that for me, for example, 2, 3 years ago, it was a huge challenge. But right now, I just texted one of the experienced person in business here in Lithuania and ask for help just to understand me where I need to go, to whom I need to go for ask for help, where I need to looking for my customers, how I need to do research because when you work with your own idea you have a lot of dreams in your mind and it is hard to just a bit slowly analyze what's need to do step by step and when you have experienced person like a mentor it is more easy to getting your goals realized more quickly as you can imagine that. So yeah, I completely agree with you and I hope for our four of us it will be really useful to getting that point into their working life to getting into the regular base and as I know if we learn from others what we don't need to do in our and how to work with that, how to deal with all challenges, it's more easy to getting our dreams come true. And that's really true. So also, could you please tell us what were the top 3 key lessons you learned in your professional lives during all your challenges and not only challenges but also your when you grow up and rise your change your positions and getting more responsibilities? What were the top 3 key lessons?
Oh, that's a good question. Saving all the lessons that I've learned into three top ones has been a pretty complex assignment. So, but I will try. I would say that one of the top lessons that I've learned in my professional life is that do not stop learning. That is one. Be a continuous learner in your profession, because the world is dynamic, the world is changing. How people, for example, in my profession of social innovation and how to contribute to development, the definition of development is changing over time. Right now, we are talking of how do you define prosperity, and how different is development from prosperity. So every day I keep asking myself, how can social innovation contribute to prosperity beyond just development? So continuous learning in your space. If you're in IT technology, if you're in healthcare, there is a lot of learning you need to do. So don't stop learning. The more you learn, the more you improve. So continuously expose yourself to information and practice and people who will help you. And this takes me to the second lesson: people, networking. Connect with people. Be genuinely interested in understanding what people are doing. Talk to people, ask questions like Alexandra has mentioned. Do not be afraid to ask if you do not know. Sometimes we have this temptation of putting ourselves into a situation like we are experts, that we know everything, that we can only tell people what we know. I think the best way of networking and learning in life is putting yourself as a listener and getting to take in more and speaking less. Because as you interact with people and you speak less and take in more, you derive more value from that interaction. Because if you talk more, you'll only talk about what you know, but you won't learn something new. So network with people in a very curious mind, trying to figure out what they do, what they know, asking questions. So network in a very curious way. Don't network going to tell people only what you do. You can speak about what you do, but always network with a very curious mind. And then number three is your values. Your values, your character, and uh, what you stand for. So as you grow in your professional life, that has to be very clear. And it's going to help you be able to attract the right people in your community. And also, it's going to get you to places that you want to be. Because values are what make us as human beings. And if you have very strong and good values of kindness, for example, you care about other people, your work ethic as well, and you nurture these values and stick around people who have similar values, you're going to progress very much in life. If you have a mindset of abundance where you do not compete with other people unfairly as if opportunities are limited. You believe that there's enough for everyone and you share with other people and you encourage other people to progress and grow. These are values that will take you so far. But if you look at life with a limited mindset where you think the only way to prosper is to make other people not prosper, you think opportunities are limited, and if someone else get it, you lose it, uh, you'll be limited in growth. So have a value of kindness, love, value growth as well, value good health as well, value friendship. So you need to just do a reassessment of your values in your professional life as you interact with other people and grow. Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much for this top three key lessons. I guess it's really important for young leaders to hear that and learn from that and to know uh, how to get everything they want just following this top 3 key lessons from you and from other leaders into our interviews on our YouTube channel. And at the end of our interview, following to our small tradition, I would ask you to provide us wish to young leaders who are watching us today, what advice would you give them today, right now, for them to being really good, authentic leaders in their countries?
Well, the advice that I have for young people is that do not give up on yourself and do not give up on the dreams that you have to make the world a better place. Sometimes things will not work out for you. There are moments that you will feel inadequate. There are moments that someone will say negative words to you. There are those moments when your dream will look so far away and even inaccessible. There are moments in your mind you'll have anxiety. There are moments that you feel like giving up. In those moments, I will tell you that take a break, breathe in, and remember why this dream you had is in you, first of all, and the value that you have and what you could contribute to society. Do not give up on yourself. Always take breaks when things are tough. Talk to people who care. Talk to the people around you, and always speak to yourself with love and with compassion, so that you do not get into depressed cycles, but always encourage yourself out of it. So when you're looking at yourself, look at yourself as a third person, speak to yourself with lots of compassion so that you're not giving up on yourself and the dreams that you have. I think once you have self-belief, then there's no obstacle that will come on your way to stop you. You'll always find a way of working it out.
Thank you very much, Goni, for this good, inspired word. And for me, I already think, how can I do my value today for myself, for my career, first of all, and then for the whole world. And I guess for our viewers, it was the same. They also inspired themselves. Thankful for you, and yeah, I would like to thank you for your time today, that we had a really good conversation and discussion about your genre, about your career, about social business, about Kectil as well. And for our viewers, as usual, I remind that it is important for us to see your support too and activity on the channel. So do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our Kectil YouTube channel. Thank you very much for today's conversation and for your time today.